This video is sponsored by FlexiSpot. This is my desk, and it won't stop moving. At least not while I'm editing this video. Because not only did I build a motorized, solar-powered smart workspace, but I'm also gonna edit this entire video while it's moving. Seriously, I'm editing it right now. You see, I spend half my time building crazy stuff, and the other half trying to make entertaining videos about that crazy stuff. But sitting at a desk for 2 weeks at a time kinda sucks. Now, a lot of people have found relief using standing desks, like the FlexiSpot E7 Pro, and I think it's because of our ancestors. Most of them spent their time on their feet all day, walking around in nature, working in the sun, meaning we just weren't meant to sit around indoors as much as we do. But come on, a moving desk, going down real roads for like 2 weeks straight? And even if I can build something that will survive 100 brutal miles of editing, will I survive? Will the video be any good? And just what are people going to say? Also, I've only got about a month to do all of it. Let's start with the desk. Now, our sponsor FlexiSpot sent me their E7 Pro, which is super sturdy, super powerful, and super height adjustable. And I'm gonna need all of those features if this is going to work. You see, roads are kinda rough. That's why your car has giant tires, springs, and shocks. And even then, you still feel the bumps. A flimsier desk would never stand up to the daily asphalt beating. Plus, I'm gonna need its on-the-fly height adjustability to compensate for whatever I strap to the bottom or the top. Thankfully, these overpowered lifting motors are gonna have no trouble doing their stuff. Really, the only thing I would change about this desk is the bamboo top, because it's too nice. I'm gonna keep that for me for after the video. In fact, I'm not gonna use any of FlexiSpot's very customizable desktop materials, colors, or sizes. I'm getting the cheapest, smallest piece of wood possible so that I don't feel bad drilling countless, poorly planned holes into it. Now, pushing this thing everywhere would be exhausting, which is where hoverboards come in. These ridiculously overpriced pieces of e-waste have a hidden talent, besides the mass generation of injury lawsuits. No, they can be reprogrammed. Oh my gosh. I just reflashed a hoverboard, and it only took several hours, even though somebody else already made a tutorial on how to do it. And just like that, this $15 used children's toy has given me 2 motors and matching drivers that can be controlled with something as simple as a potentiometer, a knob. I can even steer them using a thumbstick mounted to the mouse. And once I had the motors and casters mounted to the desk, you'd think I'd be ready to rock. But it's never that simple. You see, most hoverboard wheels have no air in them, meaning no cushion. Remember, the desk might be able to survive the asphalt beating, but that doesn't mean that I will. I mean, just imagine trying to use a mouse while your desk is shaking violently. And that's not even mentioning the damage it might do to all the other components. And that's why I switched to much cushier pneumatic wheels. I also made a lot of other upgrades along the way. After all, it's hard to design a reliable product for a customer that doesn't exist. Well, I mean, I'm the customer, but it's not like I really know what I'll need. At least not yet. But what I want is for things to go smoothly for my first long-distance test run. So I invited my buddy Quincy to help.
That is so cool. Both what I and Joel do require sitting all freaking day, and so it's awesome to see this newfound technology for getting around town, especially because on my YouTube channel, I talk about getting around town.
And with Quincy's channel promotion out of the way, we could finally begin editing. Sorta. I've been nervous about this part, but now that we're here, it's a lot worse than I thought. Yeah, it turns out that trying to drive a large, cumbersome cart around a lot of other people is quite intimidating, especially when you are realizing just how hard it is going to be to get any work done, and just how many miles it might take to finish said work.
Every single person who's passed us, if they have acknowledged us somehow, just kind of go.
It really didn't help that the cart was just not handling as well as I needed it to. I even gave Quincy a turn to see if it would make a difference, but dude couldn't even color in the lines.
You're way over the line, buddy.
You're
way over.
But after a healthy dose of suffering, I had a bit of a breakthrough. I've just forgotten what it's like to not be good at something. That's what's going on. I've forgotten what it's like to suck at something, because I used to suck at everything. Oh, we're about to get it. Howdy.
How you doing?
You know what, let's come back to the journey and first talk a little bit more about the journey to the journey, because while this is definitely the most difficult test I've ever done, it was also the most difficult thing I've ever built. Think about it. My Barbie Corvette had to go faster than real Corvettes, but only for 1 day of racing. The reverse toaster might turn toast back into bread, but for the video I only needed to test it on like a loaf or 2. The sad fact of what I do is that longevity of design just isn't high priority. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to put out a video almost every month. And this thing doesn't just have to endure the miles, it has to do so in such a way that I can edit. Normally, my editing station is a sanctuary, designed to be as comfortable and distraction-free as possible to maximize creativity and productivity. I shut out the world and only surface long enough to grab a snack or bathroom break, all conveniently located just down the hall. On this cart, I will have no convenience. All the distractions and every single person that I encounter will be staring at me. That's why it's such a dang good idea. It's not only do I get to see the effect that it has on the video, but I get the chance to become something greater in the process of making it. But it can't be impossible, just difficult. That's why I built large capacity lithium polymer battery packs for the drive system and for the computer system. The solar canopy supplements that power and provides valuable shade to help me see the screen. I put a crossbar on the legs to imitate the support of a non-moving floor, but other than that and a little thread locker, I didn't reinforce the desk frame at all. In fact, the feet on the E7 Pro were made with such thick metal that I was able to tap them directly for mounting the casters. I've got a microphone, cup holders, a rear view camera, heck, I've even got a junk drawer, courtesy of FlexiSpot. And once I fabricated some caster angle springs to help it go, straight, I was ready to put my head down, cover some miles, and finally get some good editing done. But something kept happening that I hadn't really counted on.
We seen you walking by and I have to stop and ask.
I thought you were maybe mapping like the sewer line.
Oh, you must be taking pictures of Google or whatever?
He's looking for lost sex and treasure.
I mean, I knew this thing would get people's attention and that a couple might even ask what I was doing. But this was something else. How you doing?
Mapping out the paths or something?
No, just a walking desk.
Oh, cool.
See, this is just a walking desk, like what you do, but with a desk job. Is it going to improve my work performance, or will I run over a small child? I don't know. Saxon treasure. Oh, no. It's Dane treasure. I'm real particular about whose treasure it is. I mean, if I find a gold coin from the wrong dynasty, I just throw it back.
Stand-up desks, and I thought you're taking it to a new level.
Exactly. It's actually sponsored by FlexiSpot, who makes this stand-up adjustable desk. Okay, yes. Technically, I was talking about our sponsor with people that I didn't have to. But this desk is ridiculous. At this point, I'm like 50 miles in and it still works perfectly. Plus, without sponsors like FlexiSpot, I couldn't make videos like this. And if standing isn't your thing, you can at least have good posture with their ergonomic desk chair, which is half price when you buy an E7 Pro during their Labor Day promotion. And did I mention that there's a limited time offer of $180 off the E7 Pro desk itself? Plus, if you enter the discount code JC50, you'll get an additional $50 off. Also, while I've been sweating my butt off working outside every day, apparently my wife has been using this as her desk chair. She says it's super comfortable and supportive. Anyways, the sheer volume of people who stopped to talk to me every single time I went out was unreal.
Did you make that podcast?
What a wonderful idea to be outside and yet doing a desk job.
You know what? We'll check back with the people in a little bit, because just as I was starting to really make some progress on this video, I was faced with another big hurdle. It is now 99 degrees out, but don't worry, it says it feels like 117, but I can adapt. I've got a UV blocking shirt, this ridiculous hat, and a little homemade air conditioning. But since I'm still too hot to think, let's quickly answer some questions from the comment section. You haven't written them yet? It's okay, I'll guess. Number 1, how fast am I going? Well, on average, I'm getting about 1 to 2 miles per hour. Number 3, what do I do when I have to go to the bathroom? That's a great question. Hold it. Number 4, just what counts as editing? And this is really important to define. Everything on my timelines, like cut, place, animate, tweak, adjust, etc., the entire assembly process is happening while I'm moving. And voiceovers. Just realized that I made a cut while this thing was briefly hung up and stopped, so I undid that cut, and now I'm gonna redo it again while the thing's moving. That's how seriously committed I am to this process. I also normally do most of my writing while I edit, so 95% of the script was written and typed while moving. And the crazy thing is, in some ways, it's easier. Like, normally I have to wrestle with a lot of negative emotion in order to stay in the zone at the computer. But out here, it's different. I can't be constantly editing because sometimes I have to cross the road, or there's rough terrain and obstacles, or too much glare, or people. It's like I'm always leapfrogging to the next oasis of editing opportunity. And once I get there, due to its scarcity and immense value, I don't dare squander it. It's the kind of insight that's difficult to attain without doing something difficult. Like being marooned on a deserted island, only to realize that the mundane details of your life were anything but. And while I started this journey most nervous about what people were going to think, it turns out that it was the people who were the best part.
You are wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
This is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, this raw. This cool.
So I just think this is so cool. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Look at you.
Great, man. Awesome. We need people like you.
It won't work in Ireland, I'll tell you that much.
This, because the roads are too skinny?
Rain.
Okay, it's the day before I publish, so I think it's time we catch up with Quincy.
So Joel, I'm curious, how many miles do you think you've racked?
87.5, but I didn't include some of my walk. Plus, I still have more to do in order to finish the video. So right around 100 miles is what I'll have. So basically a total of 2 weeks, but like a tight 2 weeks. I'll tell you a story. I went to the grocery store the other day and I looked around and I was like, nobody's looking at me. I've gotten so used to the fact that everybody's just staring at me. So I just felt super comfortable walking in the grocery store. I felt like I had superpowers.
It's almost like exposure therapy.
Well, that's exactly what it is. You know, I don't think I stated clearly enough early on. This was very uncomfortable for me socially. I did not want to do anything that would be perceived as being inconsiderate. Like, I really don't want to get in the way. That's not who I am. I've had to grapple with that every time I go out, and it's been really good.
I edit a lot and I love editing. But what sucks about it, and I can't stress this enough, is you are so sedentary throughout the entire process. So this is really exciting.
The painter has his easel and his pasture,
Yeah.
and we have the walking desk. And here's where we hit a bit of a paradox. Usually when I edit, I sit with all the footage and find the story within it, including a tidy little ending. But every time I go out to edit this video, the story keeps writing itself. Today alone, I've talked to 21 different people. So I ask, what effect do you think that this process has had on the video? It certainly wasn't easy to make, but that's kind of the point. Thanks again to our sponsor FlexiSpot for this beast of a desk. Go to flexispot.com, check out their deals and wide array of available accessories so that you can get your own junk drawer too. Oh, and be sure to use code JC50. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.